Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, comparing the downfall of the Roman Empire to the downfall of the American Empire, which is Babylon the Great. Revelation chapter 18, just to throw a scripture out there, a chapter. Revelation 18 is the closing credits of Babylon the Great, which is this place that you call the U.S., United States of America. It's going to be taken out by way of fire. So anyway, let me go back to this, comparing the downfall of the Roman Empire to the downfall of the American Empire, because America is an empire. I'll give you one example of why I say it's America. I mean, it's an empire. You have over 800, and this goes back some years. You have over 800 U.S. military bases scattered throughout the planet. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me see here. Okay, let me bring this over here. How many American military bases are around the world? Oh, I said 800. It says United States has at least 750 military bases in over 80 countries around the world. The number of bases may be higher, however, as not all data is published by the Pentagon. And that's when you have a country's military base set up in another country, that's called an occupation. That means they control the country. It's like an unofficial control of the country. So here's a map. Can I open this up? Let me see something. Try to open this up. Okay, it doesn't really open up. Okay, map of the week. U.S. military bases around the world. Anytime you see a star, that's a military base. You can see this is America. There's no this is America. This where comes. It goes back to Lane Leave. It goes back to the Pentagon. Okay, this is have to be Mexico, a military base. These various islands, Central America, some part of going into South America. Go to Europe. Look at all the bases in Europe. So the military, the U.S. military, is already here, ready to go down into the Levant, which is right here. They remove the Northern Army. Anybody that's all the troops show enter Armageddon, mountain of troops, place of troops all over here. Military. And if you notice, no military bases in Russia. Russia is an empire as well. It's a world power. No military bases. One military base in Canada, smack dab in the middle of Canada. This is like India, China, these areas right here. This is Australia, if I'm not mistaken, military base. All in the Middle East, but not in Russia. Not in America, because these bases, they're not going to have a base occupation in their own land. You're not going to occupy your own land. You occupy other lands. As you can see, they have there's no occupation of Russia. Superpower. So now let me see here. Let me come on back. How many U.S. military bases are around the world? 750. There's more or less 800 plus. So now let me come back over here to. So here we go. It said the 10 horns shall hate the whore. When comparing the potential downfall of the American Empire to the Roman Empire, which America is Rome all over again, reincarnated. When I say reincarnated, the leaders of the Caesars and the Senate of the pagan Roman Empire are the same people, and they're put back in their positions. So Trump, it definitely has to be Nero. So we're going to see what's going to happen. You know, if Trump is not elected, there's going to be some shit that's going to happen. You know? It said key similarities include excessive military spending. So to keep these bases alive, you know, and thriving, you have to spend a lot of money. Growing economic inequality. The rich, in this time that we're living in, it's always the super rich there's always a transfer of wealth. When there's a time of economic distress, the rich, they're doing good. Matter of fact, they're doing better. Internal political strife. You see what's happening with the two candidates. This is the most important election of your lifetime. And they say that all the time. But now this is a decline in civil virtue. Virtue meaning goodness. People don't be, and I remember as a child, you had a certain, they pushed that pride and honor for the country, for the president. When a guy became a president, remember the little rascals? The teacher either was Miss McGillicuddy or Miss Crabtree. She told Frisbee, that was his name. He said, "You'll never be president," because if you back in the day, you know, World War II, post World War II, World War I, during that era, the highest thing you can achieve is being president of the United States. Now it's a joke. It's a real joke. The Kamala Trump thing is nothing but a reality show. That's all it is, a reality show. And it's set up like a reality show. You got the candidates on either side, and then you have the nominees. So who's going to win the reality show and prizes to be the president? A decline in civil virtues. Civil meaning civic versus civic meaning civil. Civil meaning us, the society, people in general. It's your civic duty to do this. Virtue means goodness. People don't give a shit. People ain't voting. Don't even dummies vote. You got a major corruption in the Eric Adams administration of New York City. These top cops, they leaving left and right. The chief, which is an Ephraimite, he left. They had information of him and his brother. His brother was a former cop, and he was going to certain clubs and saying, "Look, we ain't gonna F with you if you give us X amount of money a week." That's that mafia shit, you know? So one guy would say it was a Jake. He said, "I ain't doing that." And then they said they gave him nothing but problems. Made his life difficult. You know? On a centralized, over-reliance on a centralized government and a loss of public trust in leadership. They don't really trust these, you know, leaders, which could ultimately lead to instability and a weakening of the empire's ability to defend itself against external threats. Meaning, when a war breaks out, nobody's going to apply their civic duty to fight. Oh, I got to fight for my country. Hey, remember when the World Trade Center went down? There was these kids that said, "Oh, we're gonna fight for the country." Little kids, my father died. I'm gonna join the military. I'm gonna get Saddam Hussein back. I'm gonna get him back. So you had civil pride, for the government, and your civil virtues were up. And come to find out, you went over there to the Middle East, and that was during the Bush era. Those military men were not drafted; they applied. They applied. Give me another word. They enlisted. Now, when they had their tour of duty, and when they came back, what was it called? It was called Stop Loss, if I'm not mistaken. Stop Loss or Stop Lost with a T. Where Baby Bush said, "Nope, you got to go back and fight." But wait a minute, I did my tour. But no, you got to. They had judges, they had police officers that were former military that said, "Look, you got to fight in this war." If I'm not mistaken, I believe one judge that this was Apostle Gabar and Apostle Ramla, if I'm not mistaken, they had went to court, and this judge, they didn't go to jail, but I forget the whole story. Either one of them can tell the story. I don't know if Apostle Ricard was a part of it. That particular judge, they said that that guy had to go back. He had to go, and he'd been out of the military for years. So they said, "Put your uniform back on and bring your ass. We're going to the Middle East." So, anytime you work for the system, you stuck with the system, right? It says significant. So it says weakening of the empire's ability to defend itself against external threats because of what? Lack of civil virtue. However, significant differences exist due to the vastly different historical context and technical advancements between the two empires, America and Rome. Similarities, economic issues. Both empires experience inflation, large government debt, and a widening gap between the wealthy elite and the common people. And when we say the wealthy elite, we're talking about not millionaires, we're talking about multi-billionaires. People, families or people or corporations or head of corporations that are worth 150 billion, 250 billion, 500 billion. The super elite are worth trillions. And the common people, which led to social unrest and weakening the economy. What the two nominees for president in the United States, what are they talking about? Mostly talking about the economy. How we're going to bring prices down and military overextension. Now I mentioned I said 800 military bases. You got 750 plus military bases scattered throughout the whole planet. And I showed you the map. Both Rome and the U.S. extended their territory significantly. That's it. Okay, economic-wise, let me give you a precept. That's why you need the blue letter, the strong concordance. Okay, so let me see. Habakkuk 2. do it this way. I'm sorry. I'm putting in the wrong word. The word I wanted was clay. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe unto him that increases that which is not his. That's the nation saying, you stole our resources. How long? And to them and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. So if you ask anybody like IUIC, you say, what does it mean by thick clay? They might, I don't know what that means. They're not keeping the laws or something like that. But the word, the thick clay, and I remember Ariel saying that the clay is red and Edomites are red, and it's talking about Edomites. It's wrong on that. Talking about depth. See, we have become wiser than our teachers. They taught us, and we went, and the Most High showed us even more. Clay. Let's see what the word clay is. Ibatyat. Ibatyat. It means way to pledge, which is when you buy a home, you get a mortgage, and when you get a loan, you have to have collateral. Just in case you renege on the debt, then they can get what you got. Heavy debts. Pledge is also a debt, because you pledge to give the money back. Thick clay. So let me go to the root word to see what it says. Might be a completely different word. Same word. I bought. To take a pledge, give a pledge for a debt. You can get a loan on your house if you had, let's say you got 50% equity. That means you own half of the house. That's what that means. So you can take a loan against the house's equity. So you don't pay the debt, they get the whole house. To take a pledge, give a pledge for a debt, interchange, to cause to give a pledge. Pledge also means debt. Judah gave Tamar his signet, his staff, and that was his pledge. So if he reneged on the deal to give her a sheep or whatever, that back then, when a woman played a harlot, you might give him a sheep. I give you the sheep, you give me some sex. Or however they wanted to do it. A business transaction. Okay, so now let's come back over here. So, excuse me. So, it goes into heavy debt, which the word in the Hebrew is pledge, or ibatyat, which means debt. And this never fails. The super elite, the super wealthy, the super rich, check their bank accounts. They're gonna make more money. So the super elite, they can restore everything. And then you have a year of release and have a year of jubilee. So every 7 years, however high the debt went to the people, to anybody, you got a clear slate. That's why you have this problem, economic problem today, because they're not applying the scriptures. But they say they're a Bible believing country. They don't apply the Bible. They don't apply the laws. That's why the Most High is going to take this place out by fire. right here, military overextension. Same thing happened to the Roman military. What they were doing, they were demonetizing the dollar. Let me do this, which is a nice way of saying inflation. Money being demonetized in the Roman Empire. Yes, the Roman Empire's monetary system collapsed in the late 3rd century AD. Now, this is when Jake was in power. Western Empire fell, which was ruled by Jake. You had the 4 tetrarchs. 2 of them, they were co-rulers. 2 had the West, and the other 2 had the East. One of the 2 that had the East, the emperor was Constantius, the father of Constantine the Great. So the so-called Byzantine Empire was also known as the Eastern Roman Empire, because the Western Roman Empire fell due to a number of factors, including the Roman Empire's currency was debased over time, meaning inflation. They took the penny, which was a day's wages for a Roman soldier, and they added inferior metals to it. So that was inflation. So they're saying this: we don't have the buying power that we had 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago. So you had a lot of the military men that, they were involved in corruption with antimony coins. I gotta look that up. Containing less silver, because a penny consisted of silver, and bronze coins becoming lighter and containing more lead, inferior. So people say, nah. A year ago you can use 1 penny to buy whatever. Now you need 5 pennies. And a penny is a day's wages. Let me prove that real quick. I'm going to show you that a penny is a day's wages. Let me go right here to Revelation 6. Revelation 6. I'm not going to go through this whole list, but I'm going to try to. Let's see what happens. A penny. And we're filtering everything through the scriptures. Here we go. Revelation 6:6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny. A wheat is, you can buy a bag of wheat, a pound of wheat, half a pound, whatever, flour, for what, a couple dollars? So it says a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. We're not going to deal with the oil and the wine part. We're going to deal with the penny. So the penny represents something that you buy with. And we're going to see what the blue letter says. Got to start going to the blue letter. General Nathaniel, you go to the Bible Hub. Why not go to the blue letter? Because then you would have to acknowledge that, you got to know the Hebrew. You got the Hebrew's important, and the Greek too. Penny, G1220.
Strong's G1220. Denarion. Denarion.
Denarion is the Roman money. You have the dinar. What was it? The dinar and the denarii. The dinar or the denarius. The denarius. containing 10. A Roman silver coin in New Testament time, it took its name from it being equal to 10 asses. So you would live, if you got a penny, scriptures, the parable of the penny, that was a day's wages. You could live off of that. A number after 2017 BC increased to 16, about 3.898 grams, or what is this? 1,375 ounces. Or is that 1375 ounces? It was, I can do some more research on it, but I'm not going to do it. It was the principal silver coin of the Roman Empire from the parable of the laborers in the vineyard. It would seem that a denarius was then the ordinary pay for a day's wage. So the old lady, the widow that gave more than the scribes and Pharisees, she gave a penny. She gave a lot of money. She just gave a day's wages. So that back then, that was called, back then that what was going on was inflation. Now it's different today. It's with digital dollars and paper dollars. Loss of civil virtue, political corruption, internal power struggles, political factions, and corrupt leadership contributed to the instability in both empires, Rome and America. You see a politician, you know they're lying. The old saying, one of the jokes is how you know when a politician is lying, when their lips are moving. Same thing applies to lawyers. What do you call 100 lawyers at the bottom of the sea? A good start. Lawyers are professional liars. Loss of civil virtue, a decline in citizens' participation, and a focus on personal gain rather than the collective good, and is often cited as a factor in the decline of both empires. People don't believe in that civil duty shit, There's a war. I said, I ain't going to fight in that war. That's why they have set up what is called a draft, conscription act, which is a draft. Why do they have to draft you? Because motherfuckers don't want to go. Barbarian invasions. Oh, who are the barbarians today? These people that are coming from the south, the Venezuelans and the Africans and the Chinese nationals and Mexicans, and they doing what the hell they want to do. They get caught beating the shit out of somebody else. Them guys that beat up them cops, they got out. Can you do that? So the average citizen that possesses a working brain, they know that this is total corrupt. He said, my son ain't fighting in no fucking war. Now they want to draft women. Key differences: technology and globalization. The U.S. operates in a vastly different global landscape with advanced technologies. Right, because the U.S. empire is far bigger than Roman Empire, which could potentially allow for greater adaptability and resilience compared to the Roman Empire. Yeah, the difference is the technology. Democratic institutions. The U.S. has a democratic system with checks and balances, which could potentially mitigate the effects of political corruption. They're all fucking corrupt, every last one of them, to a greater extent than the Roman Empire. Cultural diversity. The U.S. is a much more diverse nation than the Roman Empire, which could potentially provide greater resilience to internal divisions. People don't like other people. See, we don't know the situation in Springfield, Ohio, whether they're eating cats or is that a rumor. Speculative nature, comparing the fall of the Roman Empire to the potential decline of the U.S. is largely speculative, meaning you have these experts look to see what's going on. They say, oh, we can compare this to the fall of the Roman Empire, as it is impossible to predict future events with certainty. But all these experts are saying the same things. They're not in the scriptures. We see that this place is going down because of the scriptures. Now, let me see. What am I going to do here? Should I give you these precepts? Give me a second here. Oh, James 5:1. I'm going to end it with James 5:1. I'm going to read in the NLT. Oh, look here, you rich people. And we read that, right? Economic issues. When people get dirt poor, the super elite, the rich, get even richer. That's why they live in gated communities, so you can't get to them. Look here, you rich people, weep and groan with anguish because of all the terrible troubles ahead of you. Your wealth is rotting away, and your fine clothes are moth-eaten rags. Your gold and your silver, that's real money, have become worthless. The very wealth you were counting on will eat away your flesh like fire. Your silver and gold shall not save you. That's also in the scriptures. This treasure you have accumulated will stand as evidence against you on the day of judgment. The silver and gold will not save you. For listen, hear the cries of the field workers. In slavery, you was working out in the field. Field hands, field Negroes, right? The house Negroes and field Negroes. This is like a lower class of people. The house Negroes today would be jakes that are lawyers, doctors, that look at you like you nobody. There's a lot of there's billionaires and millionaires among Jake that's not helping other Jake. So if somebody happens to a well-to-do Jake, if he dies, this super rich guy, ain't no average Jake, on the street, they ain't gonna give a shit about him. He said pretty much that guy's a so-called white man. Field workers whom you have cheated of their pay. How did the lower, middle, and lower class, the middle class is damn near gone. How did the middle class almost disappear? Through inflation. That's cheated. But they don't understand why. They're asking Kamala, how you gonna, bring the prices down? Well, you got to go to who put the order out to bring the prices up. It goes back to the president and the government. Even economists can't really explain it. The wages you held back. How do they hold back wages? By putting more money in the system and killing the value of the dollar. The wages you held back cry against you. The people that are catching hell. That's why these two are talking about how great they're gonna make the economy great. It's all about the economy. A person that's homeless is homeless because he's either bugged out of his mind or he has no money. Sometimes you can run out of money, not get a job, and wind up homeless, and then you wind up going crazy. The cries of those who harvest your fields, meaning worked, any type of work, have reached the ears of Yahweh of heaven's armies. Sabaoth in the Greek, which goes back meaning troops. So we're crying, man. You have spent your years on the earth in luxury. You see these Jakes, you see P. Diddy, that dude is a multi-millionaire, man. He don't give a damn about the regular Jake out. He can help Jake. Where's he ever went out there and helped Jake? Them niggas that make it in this world, fuck them niggas, man. Fuck them niggas. This guy, Michael Jordan, he's suffering from what is it? Liver disease, because he was a heavy drinker. He drunk a lot of that brown juice, and he smoked cigars and stuff. He was living that life, so now he's catching hell. So and guess what? Fuck Michael Jordan, man. You know how many niggas got killed over your fucking kicks? Over your trainers? Satisfying your every desire. You have fattened yourself for the day of slaughter, because all hell is going to break loose. Like I said, that's why you have those underground cities. You have those retreats for the rich. You have condemned and killed innocent people, which are the Israelites, who do not resist you. We don't have the power to resist you. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next shalom.